just like while we were in the park. Mostly actually. Not.
请您整理好自己携带的行李物品，到2A 检票口检票，15站台上车。Ladies and gentlemen, attention please. 方向的直达任务，自动车通往下车，请不要拥挤，并仔细检查自己随身携带物品，不要流浪在列车上。下车后，走在。
We flew up to Seattle from Cancun and bought a car and worked our way down the west coast.
Information in Chinese on really obvious boards and stuff. Then you can translate it and you can work your way through it. But when there's just nothing.
It's okay, it's really good picture, but that's definitely not. It's big on you.
Lots of screen and cover on their pillow.
It was very good.
所以永遠記住一句話。
全都来下了，后来回去保障。
And that'll be okay, right? You can just the folders are all. If you know how to open the door.
放满水杯，不要接不过来，以半杯为度。为了保证安全，请旅客们不要。
唐古拉萨站的海拔高度是5068米啊！咱们明天只会是我们青藏铁路发行10周年的时候发行的一个纪念站。
There's the dolphin. I was just saying, how far do you think they're going to have us walk around the platform to get to the UK?
我等一下问一下再补上。超车，带一下。试车。没那么
不打。
花湖啊，130。
如果有的旅客已经把危险品带上车，请主动向乘务员说明情况，以便及时妥善处理，保证大家乘车安全。希望旅客朋友自觉遵守有关规定，协助。
这玩意儿的都是可购买下一点学生应在车站放到前面。
你先把那个箱子装起来，来让一下。We've got to try the dinner now that we're on a different train. It's more difficult.
Having like
No, it's come all the way from.
it's come a long way.
It's just not man enough for the.
吧？
Necessarily intentionally gone for like vegetarian stuff. So it didn't. We left the meeting, but the veg.
因为刚才白呀，剩饭都没有吃。
我去不想吃这个烤串香，白的你莫不敢做。不如拿谁。
没事，我记一下座位号，我等一下。哦，好了啊。
Untouched snow. How we doing that? We can try.
Undo us, only that way.
But if you want to, go get the mugs that we get gingerbread. Good.
Could do. It looks very stern. There was an air ambulance came in, and I re-googled it, and there'd been a stabbing. Like while we were in the park, there was a stabbing, and I didn't feel unsafe at the situation. I felt unsafe because
Creepy.
a creepy man in a car started following me.
You are stupid. It's not that number, is it? No.
I don't know what you're
Up and out, super.
它是不高的，所以说呢，人体呢，尤其是咱们从广州呀、湖南呀这边过来的旅客啊，
I've seen that all over the world though, these pockets of snow that take so much longer to melt. Set up a film, not later. Was less interested in our papers than they were on the train. They left our papers on.